Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for a special Tuesday edition of Oops Origami. It's really only special because I was not available on Sunday, and neither was Chris.
Indeed, no. Welcome.
Oh,
So, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm well.
What was your
Working
first week
hard.
at the new gig?
Uh, it was good. A lot of onboarding. Learning new environments, new people, different ways of doing things. Um, so that's kept me busy. Um, much the same. 2 days into my second week, so coming along. Uh, it's good. I can see the work that I've got to do. I have a rough idea of what that's going to look like, at least for the next 2 to 4 months, and um, they aren't too bad off, so that's nice too.
Well, that's excellent to hear.
Yeah,
Starting to get your sea legs.
indeed.
That takes a while. I mean, oh, what is this? Oh, somebody's excited about the show tonight.
Indeed, indeed. I will be right back.
All right. So hopefully we may have Jesse joining us at some point. Hopefully Chris will be returning. His daughter is not feeling the greatest. So not a whole lot of exciting things happened in the last week. At least not that I'm aware of. People that were supposed to join us and have not yet. Well, I'm stalling. I'm basically stalling. Oh.
I'm back with an assistant.
Aw.
You don't want to see anybody? That's fine.
That's okay.
Llama
Oh.
will hide your face. Okay.
Oh.
So, as far as exciting things go this week, I actually think there was something reasonably exciting.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, not super techy, but exciting nonetheless.
Yeah.
Elon Musk buying 10% of Twitter.
9.2% of Twitter, but close
Yep.
enough.
Right. Well, by the time he
$2.8
gets done
billion.
with his, yeah, I mean, I figure by the time he gets done with his board member bonuses and what have you, it'll be 10%.
Perhaps.
He
definitely foreshadowed it a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why he sold off a bunch of Tesla shares late last year. Free up some capital. I mean, it makes sense.
Yep. Diversify your portfolio, right?
Yep.
Investment talk with with the OOO Origami team. Don't
well, and
trust
not
us.
only is he a very prolific user of Twitter, he's a big critic of Twitter and some of their policies. So,
right.
Well, I mean, hey, you want to have some skin in the game? I guess that's how you do it.
I feel like it's a little bit like Hair Club for Men. I'm not only the owner, I'm also a client.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure he also drives a Tesla, so.
Indeed.
I don't believe he's flown on a SpaceX rocket yet.
I think that's probably on his bucket list. Hold on one second.
Hi. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I wonder if he's actually going to try and change policy. I mean, he has made himself has gotten himself on the board now, which with a 10% share, that was almost a shoe in. I'm sure there were at least some other shareholders that would have voted in favor of that. I don't know what the actual vote was or if they even bothered to vote. I'd assume so. They probably have to. I saw one of his tweets about the the long wished for edit button. I just wonder if that's actually feasible with how they run their services. I mean, they're all microservices, everything's distributed. I just wonder if it's feasible to go back in and make a change. And then what are the constraints going to be? Are you going to be able to make a change to your tweet definitely? Or would it be only for a limited time? I mean, do you really need more than 30 seconds to a minute to realize you had a typo? I mean, otherwise you're gonna have people changing tweets long after the fact, and that's just silly.
And that's the question. Like, what's the motivation? Is it, hey, I'd like to correct a typo? Like, oh, that's not what I meant to say. But, or is it that you want the ability to go back and go, I thought better of that.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I look like
maybe
a
I shouldn't have said
dumbass here.
it. Right. And
or I'm going to change my original comment so that the guy that responded to me now looks like an idiot.
right. And that, like, so here's the thing. If you say a thing and you decide that you've thought better of it and you want to delete it,
Then delete it.
fine. Fine. If you say a thing and you want to completely change the nature of what you said,
Yeah. I'm
nah.
thinking it pretty much has to be a short time period. And if
Right.
it's going to be that short of a time period, is that better solved by just having you hit the submit button and there's a 30-second timer before it actually goes live?
Right. Like, maybe
And
just
if you
build
need
in
a 30 Oh, go ahead.
maybe just build in a proofreading AI, right? Like, hey, did you really mean to say dick and not disc?
I think
Right.
pretty much everyone is supposed to have that built into their their brains, and they choose
Sure.
not to use it. Oh,
Can you hear me?
we can hear
We
you.
can hear you.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, and if it's for a short period of time, are people even gonna catch it or bother? Because clearly they didn't bother to proofread before they hit tweet to begin with. I mean,
Correct. If you can't be bothered to proofread before you hit submit the first time, why is 30 seconds, a minute, or a day better? Right? It's only when somebody else points it out to you, in which case, like, why aren't you just. So that's the thing. Like, if it's a spell check, it's one thing. If it's a grammar check, you almost need AI for something like that. You can have two perfectly valid sentences. Like, I don't know, maybe it catches words that maybe you don't want to put out on the internet. I don't even know how you do that, right? Like, how do you make a good filter that's useful to a human that helps them say what they want to say?
and if it's possible, why haven't they done it yet?
Correct.
Why does auto always turn it to duck? I've never once texted about duck.
I mean,
I almost feel like it's gotten worse.
Yeah, it's gotten worse. Yeah.
I mean, I think the Google Gboard or whatever they call it now, their swipe implementation, that's almost certainly gotten worse. It used to be amazing.
I don't
Now
use
it's
swipe. I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah, tippy tappy is too slow.
I'll say this
Where-
for Tippy Tappy. It gives me a chance to think about things and figure out that there's something spelled wrong.
True, true. But swipe used to be good enough where, man, you could like totally not even remotely know how to spell a word. You get in the right ballpark, it knows what the hell you're thinking for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
Now it does really dumb like really, really dumb things.
I wonder if it's built off of like just general text AI. So like the more samples it gets, the worse it gets because like on average people are awful.
Ooh. So maybe it's learned because people keep hitting send when it autocorrects to duck.
Yep.
It's like, well,
I'm to-
apparently people really love ducks.
They like to they like to let their ducks out in public. They like to pet their ducks.
I mean, from our perspective, because we know better, that's obvious. From AI's perspective,
Right.
those points have gotten, those neurons have gotten, or those new pathways have gotten a hell of a workout, and it's tough to overcome that.
The meme that I'm reminded of, like autocorrect saying, "I'm sorry that I can't figure out how much of an idiot you are in a language that I don't speak."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Poor autocorrect.
Oh, there we go.
Of course, it's it's its whole job.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, in other news, tangentially Elon Musk related, Amazon making big buys for Kuiper Cloud or Kuiper satellite, to in about 2 or 3 years have some competition to Starlink.
Okay.
Um,
little late, but all right.
Here's the thing. It's not important to be first to market. It's not important to have the best product in the market. It's important to have the most capital and the best marketing.
Well,
I mean, Apple is proof.
It's just odd that Bezos keeps trying to follow in Musk's footsteps.
I mean, we've all had
with
man
a fraction
crushes.
of the money. Well, I mean, there's worse ones to have, and there's worse people to try and emulate than Elon Musk. So,
right, absolutely. I think it's interesting. So, I've always wondered, why does Elon Musk want to do Starlink? I think it's going to be a financially viable solution, but like, it's a big reach. I know the guy's got a big thing for space.
It's practice for Mars.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like, that's his goal. Like someday he wants to live on Mars. He wants his cryogenically preserved head to live on Mars. It's fine.
Right
like
next to Nixon on the shelf.
Right. He, Nixon and Walt Disney are going to cryogenically mind meld with each other on Mars. And it's really important to have good data to track your cryogenic freezers. But like for Amazon, it actually makes a ton more sense to me because like if you can bring reasonable internet to more of the world, then you can sell more stuff to more of the world.
I think there are bigger problems when it comes to Amazon selling worldwide than internet. Case in point, Caribbean. So Jamaica specifically. You can get internet. You're not going to get a shipment from Amazon to you. I mean, not reliably.
So here's the thing.
What is the difference? One might show up.
Well, what's the difference between central Montana and Jamaica?
Reliable transport services.
Yeah, nation state.
The U.S. Postal Service will get it to you.
Yeah.
But they don't
nation
use the U.S. Postal Service anymore.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Amazon,
Yeah.
I got
In
They do-
places
they
they
use
have
some.
to. Yeah.
I got a CD
Yeah.
delivered by Postal Service today from Amazon.
and
honestly, it's just
more
a matter of
importantly,
time before it reverses, and the U.S. Postal Services is using Amazon delivery for
Correct.
their last mile.
correct.
Yeah, at least for packages, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens. White
I
box
think
it,
that
and
so. Take Jamaica, right? Amazon will do with delivery there what they do in other places, which is will deliver it via some kind of track service. In places that have suitable infrastructure, we'll do it ourselves. So take Jamaica. You get to the like the nice resort side of the island with the better roads. They're just going to hire their own drivers, and they're going to make it worth their while for those drivers to deliver well, right? Same thing they do here.
it could probably work in Kingston, Montego Bay, like the bigger cities. But man, you get outside of them,
No way.
even just how do you address the packages? Because
Um,
that's not always
that's
that
so
something that we take for
Google
granted here is not an absolute there.
Google has done them a huge favor.
Yeah.
With Google's geo addressing system, you don't have to have a good address framework, right? Like Google will
This is
figure it
true.
out for you.
Yeah.
And like Google knows the difference between your apartment, the apartment above you, and the apartment next to you because they establish an address for you. Like that's probably good enough.
It may well be. That's actually an
Um,
excellent point.
yeah,
I
the
say
first time I
actually as
stumbled
if
on,
you don't always have excellent points.
Ah.
You know what I mean.
but I do. I understand what you mean. Like the critically unique point of view. Like I don't know if anybody paid attention to that with Google. I certainly did. When I saw it, I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that is actually a game changer. It's a universal global addressing system. It works everywhere and it's solid. Not
yeah.
only that, but they've got the ability, like if you and your neighbor have Google addresses, they are similar enough that people can tell like, oh, I'm in the right neighborhood. It's pretty cool. Speaking of Jamaica, looks like you're drinking some rum.
Yeah. Appleton 15 year.
Excellent. How about you, Jesse? What are you drinking tonight?
Buffalo Trace, sir.
Awesome. I finished some Irish cream and now I'm going to grab a fancy beer.
You know what? I don't see more houses being, at least new houses being built with are like one-way drop boxes for packages.
Yeah. I mean, you can buy them. Oddly enough.
Yeah, you can
on
buy
Amazon.
them. Yeah, bolted to
Or
your.
build them.
Yeah, you can bolt it to your patio if you wanted to, but
that would be nice. I mean, like,
I mean,
a lot of people
if you're
don't have package theft issues, but there's weather
Right.
issues.
yeah,
but here's the thing. If you are worried about theft, why wouldn't you just do smart camera and door code for Amazon driver? At this point, basically everybody understands that Amazon drivers not going to rob you blind. At least not when they're delivering the package. I don't know what they do in their free time.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody does in their free time, right? But like it's not when you let the Amazon driver into your house that
yeah,
like your stuff's going to get stolen. And like that package drop box probably going to cost you as much as a smart lock and a camera.
For one big enough for any reasonable package, it's several $100s.
Right.
Yeah.
Like why, and then like climate control on your Porsche. Wouldn't you rather just have it in your entryway? You can get whatever you want delivered in there. If you can fit through the door, so can it.
yeah. I don't know how many people have. A lot of people have that adopted. Still kind of weird having a Amazon
It's
guy
super weird.
opening your front door
Yeah.
for delivering my, cicada or whatever I got coming to the door, some crap.
I mean, what would be really cool is if Amazon offered like Amazon Fresh plus put away your groceries.
Yeah. Extra $20
Like,
to put everything away for you.
I do like
I've
the
got a smart
Dropbox.
Go ahead.
No, I do like the expansion of for a long time they did expand basically like an Amazon,
Amazon Locker.
locker at common locations, Targets of the world, Kohl's of the world. You're going in that direction anyways. It's usually in a strip mall that you're probably going to visit on your way home. Stop by, you hit your code, and you take your crap. So
Yeah, no, those are still viable options. They, as best I can tell, they are expanding it because like every once in a while I'll click through and say, yeah, let me see what my locker options are. And there are more of them all of the time. Like it's not their primary delivery method, and I don't think they intend it to be, but I think they view it as part of their overall ecosystem.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If I had a high value item that I knew I wouldn't be home, I'd maybe do it, or something I didn't want sitting outside for weather reasons.
Yeah.
But usually I don't even think about it, and I'm not worried about stuff sitting on my porch unless it's like really inclement weather.
Just the weather, really. That's like the killer.
But I know package thefts are a big problem in a lot of places. So,
funny story. I had a package delivered to my parents maybe 2 years ago for a unique set of circumstances, and the day it was delivered, I go there to pick it up, and it's not there, and my parents don't know. My parents were out of town, don't know where it is, so I just assumed that it was picked up, even though they are in a pretty good part of town. They're in New Berlin, so not a lot of crime happening there. So I make a good faith report to, Amazon support. The package was taken. It turns out my neighbor, their neighbor, picked up the package, saw it there, and because they knew they were out of town, and I don't think they told them that I was going to pick something up.
Yeah, so they were helping out and grabbed it, and
it was like a $90 thing, and so I got 2 of those now. So thanks, Jeff Bezos. Like, of all the money I've given you, I think we're good. Yeah, on that one.
Yeah, Amazon understands what most good businesses do, which is customer service is king.
Yes.
Right. Like if you are a satisfied customer in the way they've resolved things, you are going to shop with them again. They also have clearly a relatively good impression of humanity. Like they don't think most of their customers are trying to cheat them. Or maybe they know most of their customers are trying to cheat them. They've got enough data on it.
Well, they're pretty good at catching the ones that actually cause them issues, and they just ban them for life. Problem solved.
Man, what would it be like to be...
They run the statistical, like, they run the stats on that. So someone like me who inadvertently, in no bad faith, inadvertently got a free $90 thing from Amazon, who's probably purchased, excess of, $10,000 worth of Amazon stuff over the years, or probably beyond that. They know that the onesie twosies are just even if they know that they're fraudulent, just eat it. It's worth eating it rather than going after those people. But yeah, once you get to a couple of them, either they're going to change their delivery method or they're going to just investigate you further.
Yeah.
Right. No way. I just went back into Amazon to look at my order history and realized that my first order was in 2002.
That
seems late.
Crazy. I don't know.
Can you
I
do
want
that?
to look.
I ordered three books and a CD.
Mine was 2006. I stand touche, my friend. Headphones.
2004.
Can I buy them again? No.
It was an MP3 player. Creative Zen
interesting.
Micro.
Let's see. I actually, every one of the buying options, they all have the buy it again link.
Yeah, which takes you to nothing.
I've got an add to cart on one. I've got a add to cart on two. I've got add to cart on three. I can buy 3 of 4. Not the coolest one though. The coolest one was my Norton Star Atlas and Reference Handbook. Epoch 2000. You can tell
like
that
a CSV export. I want to sum up all my art.
Right? You want to know. This is what I was going there for in the first place. I want to know how much I've spent. Like, what's my what's my overall total?
Well, let's put it this way. So my Amazon Smile donation is $345.18. That's like a fraction of a percent of every order. Well, of most orders.
How much is, I'm awful at remembering. And now that they're like, no, do you really want to do this as Smile? I'm like, yeah, I want to do it as Smile. Where's my total? I want to know.
460 Smile orders.
Well done, sir.
Shit.
Well done.
I'm horrible.
Yeah, they probably don't want you to
the percentage.
They probably don't want you to know how much you spend a year. It'll make it into your household budget.
Oh, half of a percent. So now I can calculate how much I've spent just since Amazon Smile has been a thing, which is only been a couple of years. Yeah, so it's half of a percent.
That's reasonably generous for a retailer.
Ooh. $69,036.
That can't be right. No. Jesus Christ, man. You are just bag lady when it comes to Amazon.
We have a mutual friend. We should find out what Steph's Smile history is.
Yeah.
Because she likes to shop on Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to slow down, but there's a while there where, and it was probably
hitting the bottle hard, huh?
Well, 6 months straight of every day there'd be multiple packages at the house. It was kind of ridiculous.
All right. So apparently this episode of OOO Origami is what's going on with Amazon. Because I just found, do either of you know what Amazon Launchpad is? Because it's now on there and I don't know what it is.
It's like Kickstarter for Amazon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm a Luddite. As you all know, I'm a Luddite by night. YouTube stream aside. So I'm not up on this hip lingo.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a perfect comparison, but it's similar.
Right.
It's getting small things and new things to market and on the biggest market in the world, I guess.
Yeah.
But
right.
Don't know the exact mechanics of how it works. I just know approximately what it is. There's a toaster with a 7-inch. It looks like about a 7-inch touchscreen on it. What What is this craziness? I don't know why it's all of a sudden it's a $400 toaster.
Oh Christ!
You got to post a link to that. I mean, who doesn't need a $400 toaster?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need a $400 toaster.
Yeah, you gotta see this. I don't.
Sends you an SMS message when your toast is ready.
Speaking of things that are effectively tablets, I am a parent of the modern age, and I got my children a pair of tablets, little
Ah,
8-inch Lenovo's.
those are nice little tablets.
They are Amazon plug, Amazon refurb store, decent deal, decent product, and a price where, like, if they crack them over each other's heads, I'm not too upset.
Was that
And I
the
should note,
Amazon
we are
warehouse?
not sponsored by Amazon in any way, shape, or form, or anyone else. Nobody in their right mind would sponsor this program. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
Was
we
that
may
the
endorse
Amazon
products.
like the
Go ahead.
Amazon warehouse?
The refurb?
Well, it's like the Amazon warehouse where all their like returns kind of come to.
I don't know, because I feel like there's returns, and I think there's also some, like, a little bit of scratch and dent stuff. Because they now own Woot, and Woot always had that, like, refurb
Yeah.
stuff. I feel like we're not going to see as much refurb on Woot anymore. And we're going to start to see it as just like a flat out store within Amazon. But you can get some decent product for, between my estimation, between 10 and 30% off. Which is about equivalent to most, like, refurb scratch and dent stores, right?
Yeah.
Dell's has always been pretty aggressive and get some stuff down to like 40% off there if you get the right deal. I totally do not understand how they price those things. I think it might be pull tabs. Like, this product gets the 40%.
Yeah.
I bought
Michael Dell sitting at the bar.
Yeah, I actually bought the primary monitors I use were 28-inch LCDs. At the time, that was something to shake a stick at, and those were like you said, it was like super discounted. I remember I I was clicking like refresh, and I gobbled two of them up, and I'm still using them to this day. So they're only old school definition, not this fancy 4K stuff. So
All right, so let's talk tech for a second.
video
At my new
cards.
job, I have a 32-inch monitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like it. I like having 3 or 4 independent monitors.
Yeah.
The windowing thing that basically every Windows computer does and every app does, like Windows menus, all that stuff. Like, no, I want to have like partial screens, and I really like edges to smash things too, so that I can easily align stuff. But if I'm working on 2 disparate comparisons of some kind of automation thing, and then like I need to, obviously you've got your messaging, your email, probably a calendar so you don't lose track of your day. Like, by the time I get all that stuff up and visible to me in a way that's useful, yeah, I need at least 3 displays. So having like a tiny little laptop display and one gigantic display, like the gigantic display is super easy to read and it's wonderful, but I'm not liking it.
That's interesting.
I'll take a couple of 24s, a few 24s any day. I'd actually like to bump up to a third, because I've got 2 24s, and then I've got a 27 that if I really need, I'll also turn that on and use that as well. But it's normally not used I just use the
Right.
224s.
I was looking at two. I think they were 30. Yeah, 232 4Ks for home. The only
I
thing
mean,
is
they're real pretty.
Yeah, the only thing I don't the video cards. I haven't been in the video card game in forever. I don't play video games, so I don't really know that. And now they're all super expensive, no matter what you do. So, but
It should be coming back down to earth.
I'm gonna hold off. The monitors are fine. I almost would buy two of them today because my work laptop. I know it can drive one 4K. I don't know if it can drive two, but you know, when I'm at home, one 4K is, that's fine. I'll just hang out until these things drop down a couple $100 maybe. I don't know.
Oh, why aren't they buying monitors for you?
That's a good. Well, they bought my portable 4K monitor for me, which was nice. That was like that. It's a really nice one. I don't know if anybody is interested in a 4K monitor. It's the let me pull up my Amazon purchase list.
I was gonna say, can you give us the Amazon link?
Yeah, it wasn't cheap, I'll tell you that. But I'll tell you, I'm impressed with it. It was last year. It had to have been.
While you're looking that up, I just want to talk about this toaster.
Yeah.
I was originally thinking like $400. That's too much for a toaster, but it's a panini maker. It has pre-programmed bread types, 34 of them. It has a gluten-free setting, so like
With the help of
dealing-
Google, I don't think I could name 34 different types of bread.
right? It has a warming rack accessory. I like my bread. It doesn't like me so much, but I like bread. And I can, back in the day, if I had the disposable cash, I might have been like, you know what? You know what's going to make my life just that fractional amount better every day is if my toast is always perfect. Because, like, it would be way better, honestly, if it, like,
You ever
also,
watch Red Dwarf?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord,
So-
yes.
Yeah.
But if
Some of
also
us
took
toaster that's too smart.
okay, all right. No, but like if it took the bread out of the bag for you and toasted it for you, like I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of like smart appliances, like smart refrigerators. Why do I want a tablet on the front of my refrigerator? I do want my refrigerator to know where my groceries go, so when the Amazon driver comes in, it can instruct them where to put them. But
I see all this stuff and like I look at my out in the garage. I have a '99 Tacoma, and it no joke has two buttons on the dash, and one of those is for the 4A flashers, and the other one is for the optional air conditioning. Half of me thinks that this is all just a bunch of stuff to break. This is all just gonna break at some point.
I've got an '89 S10 that my mother owns. It's kind of the communal family beater vehicle for when you need to haul something around in the back of a pickup truck. And I agree with you. Like that thing, it just runs, right? Like it's got two little sliders for the heat, and it's got like the on the steering column hazards button pull thing.
Yeah.
It's got a radio that doesn't work real well. That's
No.
it. Right? Like it's not fancy, but it starts up, it goes where it needs to go, and in a pinch, you can basically rebuild every component of that thing. There's no computer in it. There's no nothing.
Yeah. Sometimes you need a truck to truck, and sometimes you need a toaster to toast.
Toast.
Yeah. I put it in the chat, Brian. I don't know if it'll come over to the.
Yeah, I've got it. I'm
thing.
looking at it. Yeah, that thing's pretty baller.
Yeah, it's like it seemed like be like the best one you can find, and the
So
the only
4K, 10-point touch.
yeah,
I mean, is it powered over USB-C as well? Or
you
do you
can
also
power it
need?
you can power it over USB-C, but it's a lot dimmer than if you had the AC adapter with it.
Okay.
And I
See,
will
that I
say,
respect.
I,
I respect a thing where it's like, okay, what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna be not quite as bright, as opposed to like, I'm gonna flake out because I'm underpowered.
yes,
Or just reused to work,
yeah,
even though it should.
I,
Yeah, because I have that Asus one,
yeah,
but it's 1080p, not touchscreen, half the price. But it is USB-C power. I wanted one where I could just plug in the USB-C and have it work
yeah,
without having to also plug in power. This one's pretty cool though. It's pricey, but
yeah. It's pricey, but I will admit full disclosure. One, I'm not sponsored by them. Two, they I did have problems. Uh, the AC adapter has like the collapsible prongs on it,
yeah.
and the like hinge thing, it like was real flaky after a while. So I bought a new one of that, and the cables, the like 2-foot USB cables that came with it, started flaking out. So I had to buy good quality. You have to buy the display USB cables. You can't just buy the charging USB cables. Um, so full
Yeah.
disclosure, which I will give it that. But the display, like other than that, like working on that at like in a conference room at a remote location is just the cat's meow. It's so nice. At
Yeah,
hotels and
having a second monitor you can pop up
oh
on your laptop
oh
that's
my god.
portable enough. Oh yeah, I need that extra real estate to work effectively. Just a single
Yeah,
laptop screen ain't doing it.
no, no.
Let's see here.
And I'm not doing, video editing or anything like that, so I can't speak to, that field, I guess. But in terms of just like basic productivity, you know,
Probably good enough.
I'd buy it again, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean it's kind of pricey, but
yeah, whatever.
the cool thing, something I never even thought about doing with mine, but mine isn't touchscreen, is one of their pictures on Amazon is somebody connecting it to their phone, using it as just a big screen for their phone.
Yeah,
With
that would be nice.
touchscreen, I mean, why not?
Yeah. I bought a touch pen for it to try that out. OneNote has like a touch portion to it where you can like
Yeah.
draw. It's not. I.
It's not good.
It's not good. Yes, it's not very good.
Yeah.
So
I
let's talk.
I see like I watch like YouTubers and I watch like people who talk about tech videos or even pick your flavor of whatever, and people do on-screen annotations and they look really good, and I'm like, what are you using for this? Like I
A
want
better touchscreen or a Wacom tablet.
a Wacom tablet or Wacom
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Also, not OneNote.
Well, that too.
I mean, let's break down. And sorry, new employer, Microsoft products are not very good at what they do anymore.
Correct.
I've moved to. I was in a Google shop. Now I'm in a Microsoft shop, and it's. I can't say it's torture, right? But like in some ways, it feels a little bit like a memory of having your fingernails pulled out, like with a pliers. It's a little bit painful. OneNote, not as awesome as you'd like it to be. Teams, I don't have a single messaging app on my phone that can't figure out my Bluetooth, my very very nice HyperX Bluetooth headset with noise canceling, except for Teams. Teams can't figure out how to connect to them.
Yeah,
That's weird.
Yeah, no, it is. It's weird.
yeah. Teams
So yeah.
is very. It's becoming one of the apps where it does everything, but it's good at nothing.
Does everything
I mean,
poorly.
It does
you mean
everything poorly. Yeah.
it's a Microsoft app? It's like SharePoint.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
does everything, comma, poorly.
Yeah. It's like like drop the file sharing stuff, drop the calendar crap, make it a lightning fast, really good messaging app, and let it be that. I mean, bring back ICQ. Bring that back. I just started. I installed OBS Studio, so
Yeah.
that can create a virtual camera where you can tie that into Teams. I'm not sure if that's going to be useful enough for like presentation level like meetings. I don't know if that's going to be any use to me, but poking around with that. So it does connect.
Yeah, it might be because you can set up virtual cameras and stuff, and
yeah,
you can carve out chunks of your screen to be virtual cameras or whatever.
yeah,
There's so much stuff you can do.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
OBS.
learning that. Yeah. But the like a really good drawing either tool or app or whatever I got to do to make it where I can, because I see on screen annotations of like people doing YouTube videos, like educational YouTube videos, and like you're drawing better than I'm drawing. Like how are you doing that? It's a Wacom tablet. I don't know, or a better app.
Or like the touch screen on my laptop is really good.
Okay.
And like especially with the pen. I mean, I don't even remember how many levels it has. It has the tilt. It has everything. It's almost as good as one of the Wacom tablets.
Okay.
At least as one of the lower end ones.
I will have to look at that.
Which makes a huge difference. Whereas cheap touchscreens, they're fine when you're using your fingers, but if they're ones that aren't designed for a pen, they're not. Yeah. Well, stylus.
Yeah.
Don't use a pen on your touchscreens, people.
I mean, technology people, if you're looking for the next invention, make a touchscreen that can tolerate a pen.
Yeah.
Cleanable.
Yeah, you pretty much have to go resistive
durable.
then, and resistive ones aren't.
Yeah, not as accurate, right?
Not as everything.
Does the pen matter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like the pen on a Wacom tablet or on my laptop, there's a battery in there, like a quadruple A battery, because it is an active device.
The one I bought, it doesn't have like a replaceable battery, but it is USB charged. You know, yeah.
And that's one that's made to go with that tablet or that monitor?
Not that I've found. It's like a universal. It's, you know, I can find it, but it's a, you know, it creates that capacitive field or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the app right now which sucks. And it might be because I just I don't know.
It's probably a combination of things.
Probably a combination of things, yeah.
But I would suspect the actual touchscreen itself first. I mean, can you do it in other programs and it's still as bad? Like if you there's the crap, I don't remember what the heck it's called. It's like all touch controls that you can enable in Windows when it realizes you have a touch screen where you can like mark up the screen and stuff. Have you tried that?
No, I have not. So that might be something to try. I think I just tried basically OneNote, and I think I just tried like firing up MS Paint and just like seeing how it behaves. So it needs work. So yeah.
Yeah.
Are you saying that MS Paint isn't the end all and be all of touchscreen input art products?
I like. I used to really like Snagit Editor before I just stopped using Snagit Editor. I don't know if Snagit's a thing these days. Is that it's been like
Yeah.
years
It
since
is.
I touched it?
Yeah, I
It
still
is.
use
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's good. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll buy a
Yeah, like
license.
it's only like $100. Like it's
Yeah.
not.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a cheapskate, so that's way too rich for my blood. But no, I was pleased when I
Oh,
got to my new place and like I have Snagit. I don't have
good.
to like use some awful like print screen and drop it into Paint thing.
Yeah. I'm sure the piratey shores of the sea might be able to help me out with that. But I'll pay for a Snagit license. That's fine.
Which you mean is borrowed.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that expensive, and you get free upgrades, and it's
Yeah.
2 installs. Or you make work pay for it. Buy it and expense it.
I probably should. Yeah. I think they would probably do that. But then
Then you get to keep it.
someone would come back and be like, "Oh, what's wrong with GIMP or something like that?" I don't know.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you
Can
hear
you
me?
join us?
Yeah,
We can hear you.
What's that?
You need to get a headset,
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, I know. It's just like I moved from one machine over here, which I do all my personal stuff on. I thought, you know what, I got this really nice one over here, and I'm going to try using it and see what happens. Well, then, there's no microphone. The camera's built in, right? And it's like, all right, yeah. Now I know why I use the other one.
Yep.
As you guys are talking about buying toys and USB adapters and junk, I use all the stuff that works and I leave it alone when it works, right? And I don't care if I'm chasing technology or behind the 8 ball or nothing. As long as it's working, TS,
Yeah.
Like over here, my monitor was glaring at me in the picture, so I turned it and it shut off. Loose cable in the back.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Anyway.
So it wasn't plugged in.
It was plugged in, but not screwed in because I moved this laptop is one I use in the basement in the studio to do all the oddball stuff. Like I do video recording and I run the Pro Tools on the other machine. So I like to take it downstairs because I could do all my other crap with it without interfering with my other machines. So it goes up and down and up and down. So I just unplug it, plug it back in. I don't screw it down or nothing,
What I'm hearing right now is a lot of excuses.
You bet on it. Lazy, all capital letters.
Right there with you, man. Right there with you. Like
The
the
more
number of
stuff
times
needs to disappear off the recycling pile.
Well, and that's the problem is I have enough junk PCs around that if all I need is a browser, I'll just plug one of them in. But this thing has a little bit more horsepower, so it runs all my crap tools, right? Like I got my DMX shit on here. So if I want to go downstairs and play, I got to drag the pig downstairs because they only got one license and la 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 la. It's like lazy, right? And then there's other things that you do when you're in the basement, right? You got live music, loud.
Oh wait, sorry.
There's
Thought
a
we were
wine,
having a different conversation. Was gonna have to get the mute button ready.
wine cellar. You got the wine cellar, so that's a deviation. So a lot of things don't get done when I'm down there.
That's a lot of good problems to have.
I know, right? I just got a new toy. I started playing around with it, and the first thing I did was take out the side cutters and take all the strings off of it, and take the pick guards off of it, and put it all back together so it stays in tune.
What'd you get?
I got a Firefly, which is an Elite. It's a knockoff of the Les Paul,
Oh,
right? So it's a couple steps off of the Les Paul. The only difference is one costs $1,000, one costs a couple hundred. And the difference in the pieces, you could always buy yourself and modify it yourself. So, that's what I did, because that's the way to get a nice guitar that has the right densities and the wood grains and stuff that you need without throwing your firstborn under the bus. Right. So while you guys are always talking about video cards and how to beef up your PC for gaming and stuff, I don't know what Jesse buys. He probably parts for his truck. I don't know. Ben lives by his Camaro, and I live by all that other stuff.
Wait. Ben lives by his Camaro.
Oh, it. That's all he does.
Is he a Camaro driver?
He's rebuilding.
Not so much drive, more work on.
Ben, if you're watching tonight,
I don't think he's watching. He texted me about some duplex he was looking at.
Yeah, he needs to invest all them big money he's making on his coin, right?
Okay. You know what he needs if he's looking at duplexes is a girlfriend.
He's got a wife.
Not a wife.
Not married.
Apparently,
she ain't
I
spending
stand
enough.
by my original statement.
Yeah, he ain't spending enough of his dough.
Well, he's like, he wants to do it, but like he's gotta do it right.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He dabbles. He's 80%. He's all over the place, right? I see he's infected Brian. Look at that nice red shirt he's wearing.
Yeah, like that.
I wear all colors.
All of my Milwaukee gear has inappropriate things written on them.
Yeah. I have
Well,
a shirt with some
inappropriate for
stuff on the back. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm inappropriate for working with high school students. So
right. Oh yeah, you got a new job. How's that going?
Just to be clear, that is not working with high school students, at least not that I know of. It is going well.
Excellent.
The robotic stuff is working with high school students.
And some of my theater gigs. So theater. She's a jealous mistress.
We just went we went to see at the Theater Guild. My son wanted to see. We went to go see Clue.
Okay.
It was pretty good. It was a 90 minutes straight up, no intermission. They kept it very simple. It was pretty good. I give them credit. I'm all about the actors themselves. The props are okay. The lighting is what it is, for the place it is. But when the actors are putting it out,
that is, nobody goes to see a show for the lights or the sound or the props.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the sound maybe.
No.
Yeah, usually the sound is just them being able to project their voices within what's around them. And the Theater Guild's a small place. It holds probably, 350, 400 people tops.
Yeah.
It's built like a bowl, upright, so it goes up, so the sound projects pretty good. Yep. But you still gotta have good lungs,
Yep.
Be able to project your voice. There's no microphones on them or nothing. There's no overheads or nothing. It's just flat out get them, And I like that. I prefer it.
Go sponsor your local theaters.
Yeah, we do. I do it.
Or volunteer at them.
Or volunteer. I mean, that is a way of sponsoring.
Yeah.
No, they need your support in some way.
Yeah. Right.
So
right on.
There's your PSA for the day. Also shop Amazon, apparently.
Well, you get a lot of free
use Amazon Smile and set it up for your local theater group.
Right.
If it's a nonprofit.
Shameless plug, fallspatioplayers.com. You can shop on Amazon and name them as your charity.
Yeah. On my
there
own.
Are other. Or you can name Mike as your charity.
Yes.
Apparently.
He's a charity case.
Right. Exactly. I had to bite my tongue today. I got stuck in a situation where a lady you know, as long as you're talking about jobs and the way things go, you know, you have project people, and I dislike project people. They're a check mark in the box explicitly, and that's all they're after. Oh, they want to get there 5 minutes early, pester to contact, you know, and you piss the guy off. He comes to the call mad, and they're going to tell you all about it, and you got to listen to it. You got to be nice, you know. Hey, what you want to tell the lady is, you know what? We don't care. You're our eyes and hands on site. You got to move one lousy cable. Let's get to it, right? I don't care about all the other crap, you know. And the guy pissed her off, and you got to listen to her go down the path, and she's screaming at me, and it's like, so I just let her vent. She did it for about 15 minutes. When she was done, I said, "Okay, you want to start over now? Because we still got to do it."
So we moving this cable now, or what?
Right. So, you know, and there she is. You know, and I'm thinking, oh God, now I can just hear the guy, the project guy, you know, well, Mike, you handle it okay, but you should have let me handle it. Hey, dude, you're the one that got us in the jam, you know? Shut your mouth.
Good project managers should make your life easier, not harder.
Easier, right. Hey, and I get the invite. I click on the invite. It's in the wrong time zone. So it's an hour early. Okay, that's better. Not bad. For him, for the lady I talked to, hour late. So she was already, you know, she was really flaming mad. So that's a project, man. I don't know what your problem is, but I know if I made those kinds of errors, it wouldn't be long before you're unemployed, you know?
No, that is true.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't the margin of error for people in tech is shockingly low.
Yeah, you can't make mistakes.
Yeah.
One address, one digit off. That's it. You're done. Nothing works.
I mean, yeah. I mean, some of that depends on what you're working on, but there's absolutely those times where like, nope, you took the wrong system down. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I'll give you a real nice reference.
I mean, that's a little extreme unless there's been a history of things, but
yeah,
it can
Like-
happen.
Yeah, I mean, I is there anybody on right now that hasn't known someone who's been through that? Because I've known people that like, hey, you are the sacrificial lamb.
right.
Yeah.
But we all like our jobs. That's why we do it, right?
I don't
Yeah,
think
I do.
No, never.
I don't think so.
You never seen a head roll just for the sake of a head rolling?
Well, Jesse,
Maybe
somebody's got to
maybe I
pay.
have. Maybe it's like a repressed memory or something. Like
yeah.
I
You
mean,
choose to block it out. Perfect. There
If you don't know when it happened, it was you.
I mean, statistically, like, it's possible that Jesse's never seen it. Like, there's a lot of IT people out there, so at least one of them's got to have lived the charmed life, right? But yeah, I've seen it.
You're that Jesse. You're lit charmed life.
He's almost a Bob.
No. Bob.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll be a Bob.
You'll
in
be
no
a
time.
Bob before the year's out.
As long as he can keep a good staff working, if he can find
Yeah,
us
as long as I can keep from beating these people.
choking the guy to death, for Christ's
I
sake.
just got off
know.
just before this. I worked late with a fellow team member on an issue that couldn't be figured out. So.
Are you going to get paid for it?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Then it's okay. It's kind of sort of okay, you know. But you shouldn't have had to do it, right?
yeah, I was trying to half of it was on the way home because I wasn't going to stay, and there was another issue that happened, and I had to stay a little bit late for that to respond to that, and then this came up, and I'm like, well, I'm not staying late. It can wait the 30 minutes till I get home, and I was feeding them, breadcrumbs on the way home of at least what I thought. I didn't know exactly what was going on, but
Yeah, but you're the guy. You're the guy. You're the next in line. Now they're gonna have to figure it out. Get you a couple guys that can do the day to day, and you need to break away from that operational bullshit.
They do not like when I ask for expectations. Oh boy, do they not
Yeah,
like that.
they're not used to answering to anybody. That's why I was such a prick, right? I was prickly because I asked questions and there's no questions. There's no crying in baseball. There's no questions here. You can't ask questions. There are no answers.
Well, how are you going to successfully accomplish your goals, your job, without asking questions?
Yeah, you have to, because you're not the architect and you can't read his mind, and he changes it so often. So you have to probe it and make sure that he gives you the same answer each time, right? Because he's bipolar with that answer.
I mean, the real secret there is to get, like, once you get an answer that is the closest you're going to get to what you want to hear, you just get it in writing. Like, shoot the guy an email, like, per our conversation, blah, 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 blah. They're not going to read the email, but at least it's documented, like, hey, this is the marching orders I'm going with. And later he's going to be like, but we had 6 other conversations. Like, did we?
Right, exactly.
And that's a real thing. That's like a real thing. Yeah.
You're like, well, I remember us throwing some ideas around, but this is what we agreed on.
Yeah.
Right.
The problem with some places is they make those decisions with the wrong people in the room.
Yeah. What was Judas's favorite line against? What was the thing? Against logic?
Contrary to logic?
Contrary to logic, yeah.
Wait, what?
He would hear the same thing you heard, but you never did the right thing.
He's asking me, I don't know specifics, but he's asking me if we should pull out certain product that has been put into place. And, the issue is so white hot at this point is it would be a fool's errand without laying groundwork for what do you want out of this?
Yeah. What's your goal?
What's your goal? What's the plan? And that's what I bolded it. I literally bolded that word
and made a bigger font.
Because we got again, I will not name company names, but
will be nice.
may or may not be on the call. A company that we got a penetration test back from that was asked for input on, and I laid out the input, and there was certain section we actually did pretty good on it. Yeah. And there were certain sections where there was like kind of just hard, like in order from higher priority to lower priority actionable items. I'm like, well, we should take at least some level of action against some of these. Even if the answer is we do nothing, we at least can say that we've documented that we have addressed this, we've accepted this as
we talked about it.
We talked about it. The other portion, which is not insignificant of what their assessment said, is, well, here are a whole bunch of, and honestly, the guy had really good ideas about what we could do, and we do have some of them in place about what we could do to better enhance our security posture. And one of the things is, I was like, yes, all these are really good, and as part of a plan, and I bolded the word plan as part of a long-term technology and security roadmap, and off into the void it went. So what's the plan? We got to come up with a plan.
You use dirty words. Roadmap, plan. Plan is a 4-letter word, man.
That is, I don't disagree with you. I don't know how you. I think you just have to lay the groundwork and just do it. And
you do.
I don't know what else to do. And you do what you can. There's a lot of stuff that we can do unilaterally, which would help us quite a bit. But some of the bigger stuff, like big decisions on framework for how things are kind of how the major pillars of your organization are laid out. I mean, all that, there's kind of no negotiable there. You can't just kind of do that unilaterally.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't. I don't know how.
no, I mean,
Not yet.
there's a limit to how much you can fight for, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's only so many hours in the day. Like, there are people that have entrenched ideas that are never going to change. It's the pick your battles.
Well,
Change what you
That
can.
is true. Yeah.
in this case, everything is the battle.
And then remember that
it's changing the mindset of dozens of people that have been doing the same thing for 25 years.
Yep, at least.
It always worked. Well,
entrenched
different world.
institutional attitudes are really hard, if not impossible, to change.
Yeah.
And like at that point, just remember, the AA thing, the serenity prayer. Right? Like,
and that's, you're right on that. And that's kind of what I did last, fairly recent, about being kind of pressed harder on a decision. And it's like, well, I don't have the person making that decision doesn't have enough information where they have the tools to win.
right.
And they don't know that. Well, they refuse to acknowledge that.
I think they do know. After 5 p.m. and after a couple beers, they might tell you, yes, I kind of know that.
Right.
But I can't. It would be a fool's errand. Like I'm an ask for forgiveness kind of guy.
Yeah, me too.
But I would. There's certain things where you just see that there's
things you can't do without buy-in.
There's this void where if you slip down into this black hole, there's no getting out. Nobody can get out of that. Anybody.
Right. Like, there's certain things you can't do without buy-in. Otherwise, you're not buying things off Amazon anymore because you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be back underneath the overpass again.
Right.
And
which isn't a bad place.
It's not a bad place. You can, like, all of your colleagues that live there will be happy to see you again. No, I mean, you do what you can, and we all make an effort to make things at least incrementally better. And some of us get lucky and succeed.
Yeah.
But without control over policy, without control over budget, or buy-in from the people that do control those things, major changes
you don't have to control
effectively impossible.
Yeah.
Right. And even then, even if you have the buy-in from all those people, they're really devoted to good concepts and substantive change, those people are still cautious and they still have other people talking in their ear. And you're not going to, if an organization is at all healthy, they're not going to make huge changes. Now, they may not be healthy, but they also may not realize that.
Yeah.
Why make big change?
Yeah, these guys are so embedded and entrenched in the way, and actually, blah blah way is a coined phrase, and they won't deviate from it because it's not just entrenched in it. They believe thoroughly that you're not smart enough or you don't know enough about how the business works to make those decisions. And even when you suggest, the suggestion isn't, well, that's a B plan or a C plan. Like their plan is an A plan. I don't think it even made the charts most of the time. I mean, some of the decision making is like, where did it come from? Is it just dictatorship still? I mean, one guy says
most of the problems is a lack of decision making.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
All these people at some point in their career, probably a decade plus ago, lifted their head up just a little bit and got pounded back down. Ever since, they've had PTSD And it's how can I go as long as possible without making any decisions whatsoever? Because if I make a decision
Take the ride. Yep.
and the tiniest thing goes wrong, I get hammered for it. But if I go along with the status quo, well, it's just the status quo.
Yeah. we
Somebody
all
2
decide.
decades ago made a wrong decision. It's not my fault. Well, no, it is your fault because you didn't fix it because you knew it was wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that second phase has never seen the light.
Yeah. And it just builds and builds and builds. And eventually something will break.
Yeah.
Eventually the cracks will fall
Well,
down.
what breaks is your morale. You decide that you can't try any harder and do it anymore. You give up and go do it somewhere else because you have a better, about yourself. You want to be able to have input that's appreciated, somewhat respected, so that, right now you're a guy. You're in a good position because there isn't nowhere else for them to go. You're probably one of the few people that have an understanding about how it should be, while everybody's still cackling the old school bullshit.
I mean,
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
hopefully they see that, right?
They do, but they can't acknowledge it. They won't acknowledge it.
I mean,
They can't. He's too new. He's only been there, 2 years, maybe? You
Dude,
can't
no.
possibly
No.
know. You can't possibly know what you're doing, right?
You even at 2 years yet?
No.
I think April.
April.
I think April
2
something.
years.
Like it might have been like
Oh,
late
yeah.
April or something, but
April 15th, which is tax day. I've been gone for a year. Yeah.
yeah.
That
Here we
long
go.
already. Seems like yesterday.
We'll have to get together to celebrate.
Yeah.
Both.
That's
The anniversary.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
I like celebrations.
Me too.
I won't be able to do it in middle of April, but
Get your taxes in.
I actually did that
I've even
Monday.
started.
There's time.
that's on my list for this weekend.
Yeah.
And I have to like they're gonna come back and charge me like $50 more because I totally forgot about some savings account interest
Oh boy.
form that I
You can amend. You can put it on next year's.
yeah, they'll bill me for it. It's extra. It's like $40 or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh Christ.
know.
So
I love that. Where you're going through the forms, right? You're sitting with the guy, you're going through the forms, and all of a sudden you want to add a couple things that you put some money aside in HSA or something. Well, no, that's another form, which is another $40. Right there. You know what? Stick the $40 in your ear.
I did start doing mine like this is the third year now. Third year.
Yeah. It's not that hard. You just gotta just pay attention, keep track of everything, and
Yeah.
I use like H&R Block just to get the follow the forms to see what forms you got to do, and then I have board on them. No intention on paying you Jagos to do my taxes. But thanks for all the forms and the guidance through they actually filling it out.
Yeah.
You can't print it or nothing, but most certainly it's on the screen to bootleg.
Yeah, let me
You follow
screenshot
along
this.
on paper.
You fill out the paper copy while you're filling it out online. It's the same form, and you didn't pay for it. You got it free at the post office.
Yeah, you got it free. I remember they used to be at the library.
Yeah.
Before
They,
it used to.
they still are.
They
Are
still-
they
Post
really?
office and library.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Really? That's
Yep.
for like that 60-year-old guy who just like refuses to do anything online. And he's
Yeah.
got his reading glasses and his like 700 forms out on the kitchen table.
Right,
Just
right.
with his
Yeah,
taxes.
or the homeless guy that like just wants to make sure that once again he doesn't owe any taxes. Everybody's like, your
All
income
zeros,
zero.
baby.
Yeah.
I know a person that
No, he
doesn't-
recycles like $50 worth of cans a year.
Oh, there you
Yep.
go. Yeah.
Right, like
Yeah.
oh, I'm
That's
below the
taxable
minimum.
income. That's taxable income.
Better claim those.
Yes. I know a person that doesn't even have an income and still gets a tax return.
Really?
Yep. Impressive.
How can I get
I
on that
mean-
train?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, you have too
You
much.
gotta.
You got to be homeless almost, and you have to have,
Yeah,
you got to live at
gotta
a
be
poverty level.
Yeah,
know.
you can
Low to
get
no
money
income
from
by
the
a bunch of
government.
kids. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get income from the government, but like, it's not a place you want to be.
On second thought, never mind.
Yeah.
So Ben's talking about this week was his 1 year gone. I think mine's the
1 year.
14th or the 15th. I can't remember. I thought it was tax day when I put both fingers up at the camera.
Yeah.
So
I
if
know
anybody
both you
went
and
back
Ben
and
were
looked at
pretty
the camera,
close.
I gave him a little kiss, both fingers, and I petted my ass as I went out the door. And
I think the only person that knows how to check the cameras was Ben, and he was already
Right.
gone.
We got a new gal that does all the cameras now.
Yeah, you didn't hire her for like 6 months later.
I know. Yeah, it's a
so.
disaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, she's probably still working through the backlog of footage.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
what was this
Not
guy
because
doing?
she needs to, but because she can mine it for laughs.
Yeah. How many hard drive failures have lost you hundreds of T of footage?
I mean, how many? Pat used to go to the Colo, 3 times a week, and then go home from there. And
that guy's the gentleman you just mentioned is not the best place right now.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, I was trying not.
There's a few
Colo, and there's red lights everywhere.
Yes.
There's a few people are not under the best. Glove.
Yeah, it's time to figure out what they're doing.
I mean, when you don't respond, you
yeah,
literally do not respond.
yeah, right. Where are you? And then
what are you doing?
And then you put time on your timesheet. It's like, are you kidding?
Yeah,
that's one thing I never did to them Jags.
Yeah, you can get away with some stuff, but you can't get away with shit like that. You'll have to get popped.
That's actually violating the law too, because you're fraud.
You're basically frauding. And believe me, I understand. I fully understand that Silicon is makes multi-million dollars every year. So if I sneeze, if I take a minute and sneeze in the wrong direction, that's fine. But when you're blatantly have disregard for responding to anybody, like, you are unreachable. That's not good.
Nope.
No. I don't care who you are.
It makes you wonder how they keep getting paid.
I think Ben, someone with the first letter of B, might have a theory on that. Somebody had a theory where you, at some place, which we won't mention, that you just everyone just wants to show up and do nothing and go home and collect a paycheck every 2 weeks.
I mean, I've said for years, they keep paying me, I keep coming. But at some point, you've got to have some level of personal responsibility and personal pride in the work you do.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's just boring at the end of the day. Like, just sitting there trying to avoid everybody for 8 hours doesn't sound fun. Like, try and do like something, like gain some level of value, and like I can have some sort of job satisfaction out of this.
Yeah.
If your goal in life is to walk around with an empty bucket, so that when a supervisor comes along, you can walk someplace like you have a purpose, so that you don't have to do anything, like, find a different job.
You're like, hey boss, I'm trying to find something to fill this bucket with.
Right, like,
it's less
your
work
life's
to
gonna be
just do
better.
work.
Yeah, that makes the day go faster, and you just kind of like, you don't have to be like this like burned out person at the end of the day, but for Christ's sake, something.
Right.
Respond to people.
That's the part I
Create
really don't
documentation.
understand.
Yeah.
I do. Well, I think part of it has to do with maybe like a insecurity type of personality.
Or accountability. Sometimes when you ask a question and the person doesn't have the answer, they feel like you're pressuring them for something they don't know. They run away.
Yeah, but so what? Be like, all right,
That's
I may
right.
not.
So
So
what?
what?
Exactly.
So
I
what?
hate the most is when you text somebody. I know when we're working during the day and you text somebody, they don't answer for an hour, something like that. That's fine. But when you text somebody and they don't answer at all, ever, what
Yeah,
the
that's
fuck? What the
yeah,
fuck?
and like we're experiencing that now, and like it's being uh documented.
Yeah, that's a funny thing to be tracking. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's annoying because you shouldn't have to
Right.
babysit people like that.
And I will freely admit that I am not imperfect in where I respond to every single damn person who reaches out to me. That something slips through the cracks or something like this. But you keep the plates spinning. Like you're like that guy at the circus with like the plates spinning on the sticks or whatever. It's like, somebody slow down a little bit. Be like, oh, okay, this one's slowed down. Okay, I'm going to spin this one a little bit more. It's like,
I had a guy that I worked with at a previous job whose advice was like, never, ever leave it on your plate. If somebody responds to you about a question, always bounce it back to them. Even if like it's nothing substantive. But even if the problem is solved, like send them a message back saying, thanks for the input. Anything else I should know? Like that was his advice. Just always bounce it back to him so that it's in their court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you can never be like in his case was like that way you can never be called to task for not taking action. Like even if you're going to do it tomorrow or like later today, still send the message back. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't want to be in the position where your boss is going to be like, "Why didn't you do this yet?" Oh no, I'm just waiting to make sure. Right? Like
we used to track
which is
those kinds of things, and then what our boss used to do is that we used to use a really shit tool for tracking it, and everybody had, what do you do, and then my tasks, it was called, and then you would write down who was assigned to it, and right. So after learning this guy's formula for beatdown, I turned it around on him. Hey, look, you got this on your list. We're like 6-8 weeks into this. Can I take it off my list because you got it on your list? And maybe eventually somebody will do something about it. But right now, I'm not going to do anything. Right.
Yeah.
And so, you
Reassign
just,
it so it doesn't hit your metrics.
yeah. I think that was the biggest problem I had towards the end was, holding him accountable to his own rules.
And so this whole
nobody
thing
likes
goes,
that.
no, but this goes towards interactions with basically anybody's TAC as well. If you have a ticket open and they fucking respond back immediately with whatever. That way the ball is always in their court. Don't leave them waiting on you.
Never. Right.
Leave you waiting on them. Because then if you need to go back and talk to your account manager or whatever, like kick them in the ass, you can show, oh, well, yeah, they asked me for this. I provided it within like 5 minutes. And then they just sat on it and sat on it and sat on it.
Yeah.
Even if
It was for any vendor.
Right. Like if you have to ask them a bogus question, like keep it in their court, keep them actively engaged on it. Because as soon as they rest it, like it doesn't look good for you for future needs, right? Like sometimes, regardless of what's going on, you've got to kick your account manager in the keister to get proper service for something. But if you like let it rest, like, oh, this one's dead, and then they're working on it once a day at best.
Yeah. Oh, and don't let them close the ticket until it's actually resolved.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this should be resolved in the next version or whatever. Okay, just keep the ticket open, and we'll see.
Right.
Do we have to? Yes. you will keep that ticket open.
Yeah.
You're going to send me a message every week, and
Yeah.
I'm going to say every week, yes, please keep the ticket open.
Yep.
Um,
And if they auto close it or close it without asking, that is
Open
your
another
cue
one.
to shit all over them.
Yeah. Open
That's
another.
escalate the shit out of it.
Yep. I mean, when dealing with vendors, particularly at those sizes, like it is a take no prisoners engagement. Like
Yeah.
That just
it's
reeks
not
of
your
Verizon.
fault they went to work there. Don't take pity on them.
Yeah. That just reeks of dealing with Verizon.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's
What-
that
what
word
a-
again.
What a behemoth.
Verizon,
Like,
Spectrum,
no, like
Cisco,
enterprise Verizon.
Microsoft,
Microsoft, AT&T.
Google,
Yeah.
AT&T. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comcast.
Almost any vendor can be. You fill in the blanks. This is probably true.
Yeah.
At least for someone that's one of their customers.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they are large enough to have, like, if you've heard of their name, they're large enough for this to be true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And at the same time,
Parallel.
don't try and like intentionally or unintentionally sabotage them to not give you the best service possible. Oh, you're
Right.
gonna open a ticket? Have all the information gathered. You know what they're gonna ask for. They know what they're gonna want you to do. Do all that stuff beforehand and put it all in the ticket so they can just read the ticket. That
Right.
way, if they ask you to do something stupid you've already done, you can be like, "Yeah, that's in the ticket." Oh,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
the show
Trace
tech.
route or whatever.
Yeah, it's already on there. I already have the
I
trace
mean-
routes on there. Why do you keep asking me this?
Yep.
All the information should be on there. So, and always open the ticket online with all the information, and then you call to follow up with ticket number in hand. If you chumps call the number and then just sit there for 4 hours, wait to the first person. No, the ball could already be moving. It could already be routed to the correct team. But no, you're going to call the number and sit there like an idiot? No, that's stupid.
I mean, I will say for good companies, that's true. For companies that are really bad at customer service, it doesn't matter. You can totally send that company, I'm not going to name names, but it rhymes with Microsoft. You can put everything you want in that ticket, and then like when they come back to you, like, oh hey, I'd like you to run this. Oh, I've already got that in the ticket. Yeah, could you run it again? No,
No,
I've rolled
already
it
got
back.
it.
Yeah.
No, well,
Just like
that's them trying to put it back on you.
Just like the
Right?
cycle.
No, absolutely.
Cycle.
And you know what? It is a cycle. The trick there, if you ever get one of those, when they ask you to do the thing, you say no.
Right.
No,
it's already
I
there.
have provided you all of the information. You have logs. Get on it. And they're like, oh, our logs have aged out. Oh, how much money are you paying me?
Mhm.
I have logs that this failed. You have no proof that it didn't. In fact, you have no proof that it wasn't failed for a month. So you're going to give me a month of money back? They're never going to give you a month of money back, but play hardball.
Yeah. Make them do their job.
Yep. All right. Anything else? Any other tech news anybody wants to talk about?
Tech news.
I pulled out my
Whoa. This is a family show.
my my USB's CD DVD writer DVD writer.
Excellent.
And inside of it I
Did it run?
A copy of Ubuntu 1604.
Wow.
I'm not sure where that lands in its support timeline, but I am going to keep that handy.
Yeah, because I know like the big even number. So like 16, 18, 20, aren't those the long-term support?
This has to be
Trains.
I think this is long-term support. I would think, yeah.
I mean, I think 1604 is old in that, but I mean, I know 16 isn't the current long-term support one, but I think 16 is still in long-term support.
It's still really. Oh, this is still good, is what you're telling me.
What are you going to try to run it on?
Like that.
I don't know, but I was I picked up.
Never mind. 1604 reached end of life on April 29th, 2021.
Oh, there you go.
Old shit. See.
Yeah, I had some good old fashioned CDs that I want to listen to that I picked up. So I dusted old DVD drive off.
You don't have a Blu-ray player or an Xbox or
I don't play games.
Or a Bernoulli.
I don't play games.
You guys even know what that is?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
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 Cartridge disc 44 meg was like that biggest you can get.
It was basically a hard drive platter in a plastic case.
Yep. Yeah.
The good old days.
No doubt, huh? The technology was booming.
Mhm.
Those people
All
are like,
right.
yeah. Getting paid to swap out hard disks.
Right. Yep. When it was a bigger pain. I know at least now the chassis come apart. I remember, HP and Dell, they started, flip this switch, pull this chassis, it all came out. Before you couldn't do that. You were scarring your fingers, getting them into these little tight holes with nut drivers and then too many cables. It wouldn't come out the back. You had to, take all this shit apart just to get a drive in and out. Jesus. Who figured it all out, huh?
Yeah.
Cloud,
Field serviceability of servers has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Over the last 20
Well,
years.
even the diskless devices that all you do is you boot the pig up, it finds home just like any other device, and everything's in the cloud. Well, you got a CPU, a mouse, and a keyboard and a monitor.
Yeah. Chromebooks.
Gone to hell in a handbag.
We'll be back to mainframes before you know it.
I don't think you'll ever kill an AS400.
No,
it's here forever. I think
the pendulum of distributed versus centralized computing has swung back and forth.
Back and forth. Yeah.
Forever, and it will continue to do that for the dawn until the last packet leaves the network, and then we just start beating each other with rocks and
yeah.
I mean,
and there's a bunch of those pendulums too. There's outsourcing, insourcing. There's on-prem in the cloud.
There's even in like the centralized distributed computing, there's multiple pendulums. Like one pendulum swinging one way, the other one swinging the other.
Yeah.
Right. That's why network's a better place
Database
to be
object. Database
right.
object. Serial parallel. Yeah, there's
Yep.
more things change, the more they stay the same.
That is true. Very true.
Indeed.
Still need a wire.
Still need a wire.
That
is true.
But you don't.
No.
You don't.
Oh, you don't? Oh, he says you don't need a wire.
You could be wireless in a house. It hooks to a router, and your router's
wireless everything.
So then it's 4G. Okay,
you know what you need?
4G and a router in the basement. You need plugged into.
As long as we're not including doped silicon as wires, you don't need a wire.
Yeah.
Wireless cloud.
Wireless cloud. Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah, you're never gonna have wireless internet connection between servers at any.
And especially if there's ILO, you have to beat motion somehow.
Wired as a service says otherwise.
Not nearly enough bandwidth. Doesn't make sense.
All I'm saying, it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't mean it's impossible.
Yeah.
You forget what business is all about.
Yeah,
It's finding
well,
new
that
ways
makes
to
sense.
spend money.
Right.
I could see end users moving away from wired connections. I don't think it's a good idea for the most part. If it doesn't move, it should be wired.
Well,
Yep.
in
If
the
it doesn't move often, it should be wired.
right. In the home bodies, it's a cell phone. You don't need nothing else but your cell phone.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough
That's
to
it.
do real work on a cell phone though.
That's
And
right.
you know what?
People will do it.
Yeah,
You could get a nice
that's your
size tablet.
OnlyFans model.
Hey,
Right.
Mike,
no,
you should paste your OnlyFans in the chat here.
Yeah,
they're not models. They're creators.
They're creators, yeah.
No,
There's another word for them. It's a very old word.
It is.
one of the
Maybe-
oldest.
Maybe the oldest word.
Maybe the oldest.
But there you go, Mike.
Yep, yep,
like that,
Yep.
you actually don't need any wires in that thing.
nope.
If you're as long as dope silicone doesn't count, right? Like the battery's not wires. Nothing is wires. You can
The only
do
thing, yeah, and you don't even need wires to charge it. You just put it on the brick
Correct.
and it goes. So
correct. We're getting increasingly close to a wireless world. We're way less dependent on wires than we used to have.
yeah, I'm gonna get lost in the backwoods and fuck it all. I don't even want a pager. Leave me
Yeah.
alone.
Okay.
Then the only
yeah.
wire you'll have is
Okay, Ted.
The cell phone to be able to make sure my deposit went to the bank.
Yeah.
Well,
We
now with
actually,
Starlink, that's more reasonable.
Yeah.
Actually, it was brought up at work to do the almighty voice on wireless,
Oh,
and
come
I just started laughing.
Wireless is
Yeah, all your
not
friends are
nearly good
laughing
enough.
too. It's not there. You'll never do it there.
I said you're about $3 million behind the curve on that.
Yes. Yes.
Minimum.
So what
All right.
what cloud solution are you using then for your controller? Because you can't do it in
Compares-
house.
And then everything's like locally switched at that point, and it's not my problem.
Layer upon controls.
Yeah.
You won't even.
Yeah, it's not
you
your
won't have-
problem until it is.
Well, yeah, but I told them anybody who says that you can do voice on wireless at that place is high. Like nobody can do it. You are millions of dollars behind the curve to run voice at that place.
Yeah.
No, you don't. It's an awful idea.
But you can do voice on wireless.
Yes, you can.
Yes,
But
You can.
You
a lot of
can.
bandwidth.
You can do
Properly
it.
I don't-
engineered.
I don't care how much you spend on it. It's still not the reliability level you want. If you've got a call center, it's not what you want.
Oh, I ran a call center on
Give
that.
everybody cell phones.
Yes.
I ran a call center
Exactly. Perfect.
for
Because you've never had a cell phone have issues.
Oh,
With-
they have problems all the time. But that's kind of the benchmark. So, hey,
Yeah.
let the carrier worry about it. That's a Verizon problem.
Yeah, but there
Fair
have been-
enough.
Yeah, I agree with you about a call center where you're heavily dependent on voice and the tuning involved. I remember spending that was at times all I did was I was just
Yeah.
routing out problems, but you got to a point where you smashed out all of these little fires and you just waited, and like there would be a little fire over here and you smash that out, maybe a little fire over here and you smash that out, but eventually I remember it took the excess of a year after getting serious about it, where on-prem I can say with confidence that I didn't say we didn't have any voice problems, but the voice problems we had were so insignificantly small. They were into the 98th, 99th percentile, but it took a long time to get there. And it can be done. It can be done. Will it be done in a place like other places? I don't know. I don't think so.
Fair enough.
You're millions of dollars behind the curve.
Yeah.
do voice on wireless at a place like that? No way.
Well, what's the gain of doing it on wireless?
Everyone's doing it on wireless, Mr. Brian Ether,
I've been
Yeah,
I've been
all those help desk
contemplating
people
the
or call
Yeah.
center people, they're just sitting in their cubicle, not
Yeah,
moving around.
Right.
What
yeah.
are you saving? That's the part I don't get.
Right. And you're not going to get the
It
bandwidth.
was weird. It was like flying. It was like dancing with the devil. Like
It's
all of a
another
sudden,
box to
Moonlight.
tick. It's another box to tick when you're sitting in front of the board of directors trying to justify what you did this year.
and it would be awesome
Not
if you
piss
could
away the
say
bonus.
we have full connectivity no matter where you go at an enterprise. I don't care if you're on wired, wireless. Doesn't matter what site you're at. It doesn't matter who you are. The experience is the same, and it's the quality of that experience is pretty damn good. That would be something to take pride in. But to get there, my God, you're high.
Site by site.
You're just
Zig-
high.
Ziggy Iffy, you still have to pay for switches.
Yep.
Why not?
And more
Why
expensive.
doesn't get
PoE
Ziggy
plus
Iffy in
switches.
here?
He's shy.
He's shy.
Must not have done his hair today.
Yeah.
He's still in the garage playing with his car.
Hey, he took it out for a ride today. He got it up to what, 53 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Yep. And he went 10 miles.
Basically
instead of-
done.
yeah, right. I get it on a freeway and put that metal down. See what
Yeah.
it's got. Wheelies.
That's not Back to the Future speeds. So.
No, I mean, you're just trying to get it up to about 85, 90, before you hit it fourth gear.
Yeah, AP's antennas. That's a good start. Yeah.
AP's
Yeah.
antennas.
That's a good start. Yes.
The switches that you have to buy are more expensive.
You're going to need coverage.
Controllers, licensing, management.
Yep. Like, yes, you may come out
problematic.
net. You may have a net gain, or your costs are slightly lower, right?
You got to rip the firewall out. It's in the way. You got latency built into that. You can't inspect it because it's a nightmare. Right?
No, you don't give up on that stuff. If you're doing equivalent to equivalent, what it means is you have to buy faster, better firewalls so that you don't introduce latency.
Yeah.
You have to come up with solutions from vendors that are able to handle the small introduced latency of inspection, right? Like you just have to do it all.
Yeah, there's only two questions you ask yourself. What's Cisco doing? And then what's the magic helper over there, Kavanagh's doing? If he's doing the right thing, whatever he says goes.
And how fun is troubleshooting on wireless?
Oh, it's great.
When shit goes sideways.
Oh my God.
What piece is broken?
What do you mean? When things travel through the air, they're not predictable?
Well, yeah.
Not when there's rows and rows of cans in the way.
It's bad enough doing it at just like one centralized location.
2 APs. Just pick 2 APs and try doing it.
I mean, when you have such an environment where you're spread out over dozens and dozens of locations,
right?
I mean, it just like what are the expectations? What do you want to work?
How
I think the summary is this is a bad idea unless you have a lot of money to spend.
I would think if you tried to bench it, you'd suffer dearly because, first of all, all right, so you may maybe make 2 APs work in the same building on the same switch, right? But when you have to move across the bogus networks, the MPLS, the shitty, SD-WAN infrastructures that are poorly managed, right? Now what?
Well, there's a lot of like failure paths along that way.
Right. Single points. And then you have, mismatch components, right? So your uplinks are not gig interfaces or 100 meg. Oh, sorry about that, right? And you're not running the right protocols across it. So there you go. Now you have that issue, right? So what do you have to be? What's your switch powerhouse look like? Is it still a 9300?
For an access switch, yeah,
Right.
I say an access switch is an access switch.
Well,
I say the same
well,
thing, but is it a Cisco? Is it
Maybe,
an
but
look at what 9300 48 port costs versus one decent AP with antennas.
yeah,
About the same
about the
price.
same price. Yeah.
That 48 port switch can service, give or take, 48 end user stations. That AP in most office environments is not servicing that many people.
Right.
Not if you're expecting good quality service.
Not once you got
Not at the
frequency
rates
you
that
want.
that switch can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
very close to the
Oh,
rates
not
that
even
switch can.
close. Yeah. So on voice, like, does has anybody actually delved into the real nuts and bolts of troubleshooting voice over Teams?
No.
Don't
Voice
care.
over Teams?
Yeah, like voice quality over Teams.
No.
I just know it's really easy to make bad.
I mean, that's Microsoft special sauce, right? Like, maybe you can get them to admit what it is.
And I think that's what I'm finding out. It's really hard to pull out any meaningful data.
It works almost as good as Skype did 15 years ago
Yeah. And
over a dial-up connection.
I'll admit the codec. I'll admit the codecs that they use. I will voice over everything, lesser extent video. Last in line is screen sharing. I will fully admit that the codecs that I think they use an Opus variant. They use a very advanced variant for their voice codec. Beyond like G711 or beyond ILBC, their voice codec is a adaptive codec, and it's very good. I'll admit that. But to speak to problems, I just can't find anything. Like, yeah, I can pull up the call quality dashboard and I can see, okay, well, this end had 3% packet loss. That's great. Now, I don't know what to do with that. And I don't know how to analyze that from a
Make that
network
number
perspective.
smaller.
Oh, okay, great. So where is that number failing? Where does it go from 100% to 3%? Because if I count the links, the network links between some voice calls, at least on the network that I would be responsible for, they could be 6 or 8.
Yeah.
Like 6 or 8 links.
Pretty
Like,
easily.
where do I start?
What's the low line frequency that each call is, like 8K?
Well, it's adaptive.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
All those rules are out the window.
Yeah, right. So what are they
Everybody's
using?
expecting HD audio, and it can be quite a bit. If everything used 8K streams, audio streams, everybody would complain because it would suck, but
Right.
Yeah,
it would never have an issue.
But here's the thing about that. So if you're not sitting in front like we are right now, you're watching my lips move in a delay motion and you're not hearing exactly what I'm saying. But if you can't see each other, it doesn't matter what the delay is or the latency because you're not seeing it. Okay. So when you're in a conference and you don't do what we're doing
you get
here,
a couple hundred milliseconds and it starts getting weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the problem is, like, when you're having conversation, if you get too much delay in there, when you go to make a point, the other person doesn't hear you until way too late, and they're already actively talking. Because, like, the way that people listen is in spurts, right?
Yeah, right.
So if you're not in relatively good sync, just from a voice standpoint, you've got problems.
Yeah. And the voice is the easy part.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch choppy, laggy video all day than poor quality, droppy, laggy voice. Like,
audio is number one, and it does use. I was wrong. It uses Silk, a variant of Silk, which is a very advanced adaptive audio codec. Yeah,
kind of
and
bit
that's
rate
what
you're
that
looking at.
and that's why you know, during this whole pandemic thing, everyone is using, you know, Teams, everyone is using all sorts of variants of communicating across, you know, the internet basically for voice. And for the most part, it's pretty good. If your internet connection sucks, yeah, it might suck, but uh, for the most part, those codecs are damn good at packet loss adaptation. Um, they throttle bandwidth where applicable. But back to the point on Teams, like when I'm asked to troubleshoot a bad Teams phone call, I know where to kind of start, but I don't know how to definitively like nail the coffin like shut. I don't know how to do that right now.
Until you get to your edge. So what do? You troubleshoot from your desktop to your edge, and then the internet's sitting in the middle, and then you go to the other side and do the same thing. So you got two pieces with a big hole in between.
And so what part of that hole do I go after?
Right.
Even if I were to set up packet captures along every single link along that line,
no,
where I still don't know a good way to find where the essentially the congestion packet loss is happening. I don't know how to do that.
Then you dump their internet raw and you start going point to point. You eliminate the number of hops. You eliminate the number of hops, right? Because that's adding latency. Every time you hit another one, it's another, whatever it is, 20, 30, 40, 50 milliseconds.
Well, once you hit the internet, there's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
Yeah. Once I can't do anything about the internet, whether it's on MPLS or VPN or whatever, but I can speak to everything else in between, and that's usually where the problems are. I got nothing to go off of, and you know, someone's got a free lunch coming to them if they can tell me where to start with that. I know where to start, but I just don't know how to put it all together. It's difficult. Eventually, we're going to be asked, we will be asked to speak on that. I can't right now.
Tough problem to have.
It is a tough problem. So what happens when you have a bad phone call and it's your president of the company, of a $5.5 billion company, on a Teams call and he has bad audio?
Solar flares.
Yeah. Tell him to get a POTS line.
Try again. See what happens.
Space weather.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a tough one, dude.
That's a tough one.
I really used to send people to the NOAA space weather site.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, sunspots.
Sunspots. Yes.
I'm like, what? I'm like, no, it's really a thing for communications, really affected by sunspots. And they'd go there and like, I mean, it's all green. I'm like, yeah, it's in the details. You got to look in the details. They never look in the details.
Yeah.
A coronal mass ejection.
Absolutely.
That's like back in we're done? Good?
Yeah, on that note,
I mean, he did just say coronal mass ejection.
Yes.
We're just making stuff up at this point. Yeah.
No, that's a real thing. But yeah. So we did this show backwards. We got into all the interesting stuff at the end, and we were just floundering around at the beginning. So that's a new one. Add that one to the calendar. But yeah, I'm getting tired. I know Chris is getting tired.
Do you actually have an agenda when you start that we can look at the contents and read it?
That would
last
we're working on it.
Yeah, last time we did. This time I've been so busy.
You're right. Traveling.
Yeah. We're trying to get that nailed down a little bit better. If we could actually do that, we could probably do like 2 shows a week.
Well, you might
Right.
draw
Hey.
different people that want specific subject matter, and all of a sudden you
Well,
tweak
yeah.
the curiosity, and you're going to drag them in. I come because I know all you carnies are here.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we could actually put something useful in the description, that would definitely help.
Yep. Hey, if you the participants or the viewing audience have things you want to see us talk about, hit us up, drop in
Yeah.
the comments, whatever. We probably won't see them
Absolutely.
because we're not that good at following up on things,
No,
but
I
maybe we
do.
will.
Well, we have other forums too. I mean, Brian,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
have
we
this
get
one.
alerts and stuff.
We do fests
Yeah.
once in a while. You know, we haven't done
Yeah.
a real fest online in a while, but we'll do a drinking one this week. I think tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, I think so. No, Thursday.
Oh, Thursday for sure now. Okay.
Or I thought it was Wednesday.
Well, Ben wasn't available Wednesday.
Well, he can come, but he'll come late.
Right?
Right.
Well, whatever. Just let me know.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll start again tomorrow. We'll tweak them. And here he is. Girdle is dry.
It's great. I mean, we did start backwards. He was like he'd flooded his basement at the start, and then now his girdle is dry. So I guess we've talked long enough. So
well, we hit 2 hours, right? Nice.
we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, we did
We
good.
did.
That's the goal. Is to
And we didn't bash his home base as often as we did last time. So we're getting better at it, Jess.
It
Well
wasn't
done.
just pile on Jesse Day.
Yeah. Well,
No, he just has
home
a
base is
great
getting better
example.
now that we the fat has been cut. You know, Mike.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just a great example.
What, did I get fired and I didn't know it?
No. Full-time employees only.
Ah,
All right. Well, you gents have a good week, and we will talk to you hopefully in about another week.
And this
Yeah,
is where you
probably on
play
Sunday.
you roll the credits and you play the finale music.
The outro. The outro.
should be some Benny Hill music for this group.
Oh wow, he's on
We'll,
TV again.
Maybe we'll work on it. We'll work on a theme song.
Yeah.
It'll probably be Brian, me, and a couple of like bottles, and we'll make like awful bottle music.
Now I got the Benny Hill song in my fucking head.
Great.
Excellent.
All right.
All right,
Everyone
dudes.
have a good week. Probably see y'all on Sunday. If not
Right,
earlier,
never know.
probably
Right on.
Sunday.
Bye.
All right.
night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.